That means we're back. This is page 2 of 11.9. It's just 3 more problems. This is what I've been talking about. They've also, so we've got volume equals length times width times height, okay? And what they're going to throw in here is this idea that volume equals base times height, all right? And so the connection that they're trying to make here is that area, so I'm going to think of the area of the base. If I wanted to draw a square that's 5 by 4, this looks like the 5 side, and that's the 4 side. Okay, so I've got this square, and I say, okay, what's the area of the square? And we'll call these inches just like they are down here. Well, the area of this is area equals length times width, which equals 20, right? 5 times 4 is 20. So the area would be 20 inches squared. Well, length times width for the area of my base is the first 2 numbers that I have here. So I mean, you're going to see base times height a lot. That just means length times width. Okay, so if they give you a base, then you just multiply that by the height. So don't get caught up in like all these different formulas. Just remember length times width times height. When they say base, that's just length times width. Base is length times width. It's the area of the bottom. But like I said before, it doesn't matter which of these is the base. That's why it's not my favorite formula. Length times width times height. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and erase that out of here. All right, this base B equals base area, which equals length times width, right? Which goes right there. Okay. All right. I hope that helps make sense of that. So use the area of the base shape. So it's going to have volume equals base times height. Oh, geez, I wonder what these are. Length times width is going to give me my base, right? So length times width, 5 times 4, which is what I had over here earlier for the area of the base. All right, and then the height is 8. So 5 times 4, of course, is 20. All right, and 20 times 8. So again, 20 times 8, that's easy to multiply. What's 8 times 2? 16, right? And then I add a 0, all right, because I have a 0 on my 20 right there. So 160 cubic inches. And remember, I write that as 160 inches cubed as well. That's the shorthand. All right, so I mean, it's telling you to do the same thing. I had to do length times width in order to get my base. All right, so base is length times width. Let's take a look at another one. Find the volume. I've got 7 times 4 times 5. Length 7, 4, 5. And here's one where I would say, if it was me, and I'm going to do it how I want to do it, right? Instead of 7 times 4, I like 4 times 5, because 4 times 5 is 20, and 20s are easy to multiply. I'll do it their way. 7 times 4 is 28 times 5, right? And then I've got to go 28 times 5. 5 times 8 is 40, right? 5 times 2 is 10 plus 4 is 14. Okay, so I'm going to get 140 cubic feet. Whereas if I had just said, you know what, I'm going to do 4 times 5 first. 4 times 5 is 20, right? And then I could have had 20 times 7, which is 0 and a 14, right? I get the same answer. So it doesn't matter the order you multiply them. Don't get caught up in this base times height. If they give you 3 dimensions, do them however you want. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter? No. Commutative property, right? All right, let's take a look at another one. We've got length times width times height. It says the volume is 60. Okay? So if the volume is 60, they're giving me 60 here, equals 5 times 4 times something. All right? So 60 equals 20 times something. And so in order to get this, what I really do is I take 60 and divide it by 20. Right? I'm going to divide both sides by 20 to get rid of the 20 from this side and make that a 1. So I take 60, I divide it by 20. Do I need the zeros? No, I take those off. How many 2's go into 6? 3 of them, right? So this is going to be 3. Or you can guess and check. 20 times 1, 20. 20 times 2, 40. 20 times 3, 60. That must be it. Must be 3. If they give you the volume, I'm going to divide to get the other side, the missing length. Okay, I'm going to have to divide to get the missing length. What am I going to have to do? Divide to get the missing length. Okay, more of this to come.